I want to share something with you this morning that I picked up from Philip Yancey from his book, The Jesus I Never Knew, which is a really good book, and I think he just strips away the veneer of religion and just some tradition and stuff. It's a very good book. But he talks about his time in Chicago, and he went to LaSalle Street Church, and his pastor was named Bill Leslie. And he's quoting him here. He says, "As churches grow wealthier and more successful, their preference in hymns changes from, quote, 'This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through,' to 'This is my Father's world.'" You know, if you think about it theologically, that's a big difference. Right? It is. It's a big difference. And then we don't really identify, as we're comfortable, we don't identify with some of the things that Jesus talked about, like especially some of the humble conditions of the Beatitudes, which are counterintuitive really for anyone. But the whole idea of future rewards, and I really try not to think about it, it's not like I'm doing it for reward. To me, like when it boils down to it, the idea that God would say to me, "Well done, good and faithful servant." You know, there's the song by Mercy Me, "I Can Only Imagine." If I hear those words, I am on the ground weeping. That's my response to that. Oh my goodness. But as far as the whole thing about future reward and what our hymns are like, you go back to a lot of the hymns that were written by slaves in this country. "Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home." Or, "When I get to heaven, going to put on my robe, going to shout all over God's heaven." And then also, "We'll soon be free when the Lord will call us home." You know, but we've got so many people. I remember the church in Oakbrook. I heard that one of the neighbors there said, "I can't believe they put a church right here in Oakbrook because we don't need God." What? But that's the attitude. It's like, what do I need heaven for? Because earth is pretty good for me. It is for some people, not for everybody. And then he talks about Terry Waite. So that's kind of dated, but I remember that he was an American hostage. And, you know, what was it that got him through? What was it that got him through? And I like just some of the things he said. And I've read, you know, Man's Search for Meaning this last year about Viktor Frankl in the Nazi concentration camp. Read the Colonel Rutledge, the story of being a POW in Vietnam. And what gets people through? It is that there's something better ahead. You call it reward, call it whatever you want to. But just what he says is that a world of family and friends and mercy and love and music and food and good books awaited him if he could just find strength to hang on a little longer. Maybe that's kind of what some of you need today if you're really going through a difficult time. That there is something better ahead. We've got a lot of people that are dealing with depression. A lot of people that are dealing with anxiety. I say this about myself all the time. I have a melancholy personality. Sometimes my wife will laugh at me kind of like, because, I want to plan this trip out. Why do I do that? I need something to look forward to. I learned that about me a long time ago. I need different things that I can go, I want to get to that point. It's something to look forward to. So, as far as pie in the sky, you can call it pie in the sky, but the reality is God does give rewards to people. And he talks about slavery in the United States, and I just finished a book about Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, great book, and so that's just kind of fresh on my mind. But I think that something that American slaves realized was that this was not God's ideal for their life, and that there was going to be a change, and the change, whether it came in their lifetime here, and for some of them it did, and for some of them it didn't. And for some things are still changing. But the reality is that we know that it's not going to be that way forever because there is another realm. This isn't the end of the world it's the end of the world as we know it. It's just not the end of meaningful life. I want to read just the final couple sentences here. The prospect of future rewards in no way cancels out our need to fight for justice now in this life. Rather, it allows us to believe in a just God after all. Like a bell tolling from another world, Jesus' promise of rewards proclaims that no matter how things appear, there is no future in evil, only in good. God bless you. Have a great day.